Welcome back into Sports Plus Live. Luke Robinson, joined by BRHS athlete Dillon Dean now. Dillon just won state championship in the 3,200 meter state championships in Gulf Shores this past weekend. He came in second in the 1,600 meters, and then he came in seventh in the 800 meters. So did you have to run all of these consecutively?
No, all right, so state is split up into 3 days.
Okay.
So for the distance runners, it works out pretty well. So you run the 16 on Thursday, the 32 on Friday, and the 800 on Saturday.
So you get a little break on Saturday.
Yes.
When you run the 3,200, do you feel like you could run another 3,200? I mean, are you that well trained?
Oh, I mean,
or is that pretty tiring?
Not whenever you're at that pace. It's pretty tiring. It's really tiring, actually, especially just depending on the pace that you're pushing. Friday, we didn't go out as fast as some of the races I've been in, so yeah, I wasn't dying after that one. Mm-hmm. But it's a race of its own. It's a whole another type of pain.
So do you go down there with the school, or do your parents take you down there, and then you have to get your own place to stay? Does does this HSA put you guys up? How does that work?
Well, the school, so I mean, it just depends on how many people is going. So this year we got to take 8 people. So the school paid for our hotel for the team and stuff, and then of course my family came down there and got their own place. Mm-hmm. And you know, you can stay with the team or you can stay with your parents. It isn't really strict on that. But other than that, yeah, the school pays for your food when you're with the coach. They pay for your where you stay and stuff. And I think that's pretty great of them. And
who is your coach?
Shondale Rusall this year
Okay.
for the track team, and then I have my personal coach that has been coaching me for 3 years now, and that's Paul Oswald from Auburn.
Where do you find a personal coach just to do one-on-one running distance training? I mean, it would seem, and again, I'm showing my naivete on this, but just run a really long way several days in a row, and it would seem like that's your training. That's your coach. I just coached you. Pay me now.
Well, actually, we didn't have to pay him. He's just a really nice guy. He was actually the marketing director over the hospital, and that's just one of his interests that he's always been in is running. And for runners, we have this thing called AlabamaRunners.com that has all the meets and stuff. And he just ran across my name after my 9th grade year after cross-country state. And he walked across the hospital and talked to my mom, since that's where she works, and started talking about possibly getting up together and start training. And if I liked it, and if he liked it, then, you know, we could go somewhere. And ever since my 10th grade year of cross country, he's been coaching me.
When did you know you were going to be state championship worthy in distance running?
Not till this year. There was quite a few guys in front of me last year. But then this year I just trained really hard over the summer, and then just a few weeks before cross-country state, I was like, all right, I have about a 10-second gap in between me and the second guy, and I was, you know, this might be possible. And then over the course of the year, you know, it's been playing itself out.
Okay, this question is moderately uncomfortable, but that's what we do on local channel sports shows, is we ask the hard-hitting questions. And one of them is, you obviously were good enough to win the state in indoor, but you weren't able to compete in outdoor. Could you explain that?
Well, you know, indoor, there's certain guidelines, just like with every sport, and you have to have a team register, or one person in my case, and you can do that, but it was just a lack of communication in between me and some of the people at the school, and then just, you know, not communicating the right way, and being on a whole different level, and not like thinking the way we should have. But
do you regret that a lot? Is it something you're worried that 10, 20 years down the way you'll go, gosh, I wish I'd had that opportunity just to have that medal hanging? Because I feel like you probably would have won that.
I mean, yes, I would have loved to compete in it, and I would have loved to, go for another state title, but things don't always happen the way you want to. But I just had to overcome it and look forward to the outdoor season.
Did it make the outdoor win more satisfying when you got the 3,200 gold?
Yes, it was a lot more satisfying, but it was a lot more pressure before that because you knew that, all right, this person has the title that I was supposed to be getting in indoor, and I want to take that from them in outdoor. And then, coming off a state championship in cross country, that means you're basically the best distance runner as it goes for such as like a 3,200 meter, and it was a lot of pressure. But then once I was able to pull out the win, it was a big relief.
What was the margin of victory?
It ended up being 3 seconds, but whenever I got to about 10 meters to go, I was able to look back, and I had probably 70 to 80 meters of a lead, so I just started slowing down and got to celebrate.
Enjoy it a little bit.
Yes.
Savor that moment.
Yes.
Well, look, all's well that ends well, because you will be going to
Sanford
next year, and you will get to run for them, apparently,
yes,
which is a very good thing. Now, how does that work for you? You mentioned is there a partial scholarship? How does Sanford work with their scholarship situation?
I mean, with every college, it just depends on how much money they have on that side of on the men's team that year.
It's like baseball, collegiate
Yes.
baseball. They can divvy up certain
Yes,
pieces
yeah.
of a pie.
Yeah, they're given like 12 scholarships,
Gotcha.
and they have to divvy that out. But I'm actually going there as a walk-on. I had a lot of other scholarship opportunities, but it was a place I felt most comfortable at, and where the team really, that was like the best team feel I had, and that's what I was looking for. And but with the coach there, they didn't have any money on their men's side. So, I mean, he said he would have gave me a little bit if he could have, but he said I can come in there and I can earn money as I go, and as long as I go and do good, I could end up on a very good scholarship after my freshman year, after my sophomore year.
Do you feel like you're going to college with a bit of your chip on your shoulder? Because honestly, we sat up here on Sports Splits a lot of times, Randy and Brett and Scott Hardy and I, and just said, all right, we don't know a lot about long distance running. Obviously, none of us look like we can do any long distance running, but we just know that every time you were in an event, you won it. So if Alabama and Auburn and UAB have teams, why aren't they talking to Dillon Dean? We're biased. We want Elliott City kids, especially good ones, to do well. But if I didn't know who you were, if I didn't know what family you came from, I would still say, okay, why aren't some schools, bigger schools, recruiting this guy? Do you know what that was? Is there a size issue? Is it because it seems like you won a lot?
Yeah, I mean, but the wins don't always matter. It's the times that matter a whole lot. And I mean, I could have gone to Alabama or Auburn if I wanted to, but the thing about those universities, the bigger universities, unless you're like a 4.10 miler or under, they only offer around like to buy your books, and that's it. They're very, or they don't like to give scholarships to at least the distance guys, because the distance guys, unfortunately, this is how it works out, that distance guys are more middle class, smart, and they're smarter. So they bank on that they have a better ACT, and they can get that paid for it. Like, I know a guy from Mountain Brook that is a 4.13 miler, which is just crazy fast, especially to be from Alabama. And all they're paying for is his books, because he has a 33 ACT. So they're gonna say, if you can get that paid for, then why should we give you money whenever we can give it to like our sprinters who might not be as smart.
I get it.
You know.
Okay, so what you say 413 miler is a big deal. What kind of miler were you?
I went 421 this week at
Is that your
state,
best?
which was a PR. I mean, anything in the fours is good, but once you get to around 420, that 420 mark is a big mark. Like, that was my goal, was to break 420, but unfortunately I did not get to break it. But I'll take 421.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all. Do you do a lot of running outdoors just around Alexander City, or do you train indoors more often? Is there a reason you would do one or the other? I mean, is it good to be out in this humidity? It's just starting to get hot again. Is that good for you?
Oh yeah, it's very good for you, because I mean you aren't supposed to go run on the treadmill, because treadmills are really bad for your knees and your joints and stuff like that, especially as a runner. So yeah, all I do is train outdoors as much as I can. Whenever it comes to track, and especially I like my mileage goes down to where I'm hitting in between 5 and 6 miles a day, and then I'll have a lot more speed workouts, because that's how you get faster. But then, like during the summer, this summer, getting ready for college, because for cross country, the miles go up for the race, so it's a 10K instead of a 5K, which is a pretty big difference. So during the summer, it's nothing but running outside and logging a lot of miles.
Well, I got to tell you, I admire you, not just because you're a good kid, you're going to do big things, you're going to go to Sanford and do really well, but I tried that Russell Forest run one year, and I mean, I'm still having to get massages to work the kinks out from that. That was 5 years ago. So, Dillon, best of luck to you, man, and everybody's pulling for you. I mean, you got the whole community behind you, so we expect big things from you, and we know you'll provide them.
Thank you.
Dillon Dean, everybody, long-distance runner from Benjamin Russell High School. We're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sports Bliss Live.